The next presentation is The Price is Not Right, Grocery Taxation and Food Insecurity in the Pandemic. So please welcome me, join me in welcoming from the Department of Sociology, Emily Bonner. Yeah!
Imagine you are in a family of 4 living in Dallas, Texas. Your annual grocery budget is about $6,000, and you carefully plan your meals around this and you make it work. Your family decides to move to Oklahoma, and you find that in Norman you pay 8.75% in grocery tax every time you go to Walmart. After a few months, you realize that you will be paying $525 in grocery tax by the end of the year, which is more than a month's worth of your grocery budget. So what was a sufficient budget for food for your family is no longer sufficient, and you may experience food insecurity. Research has shown that food insecurity was a significant public health concern even prior to the pandemic, and food insecurity is connected to grocery taxation. My research expands existing studies to show that this problem has only grown more acute in the past 2 years. As we know, the onset of the pandemic created several challenging factors, like the loss of income and the loss of schooling. These factors converge to increase food insecurity. The Brookings Institute estimated that food insecurity jumped from 10.5% in December of 2019 to 35% in April of 2020, just a few months later. So my thesis is that grocery tax adversely affected the food security of Americans during the pandemic. Using U.S. Census Bureau data collected between August of 2020 and October of 2022, I have constructed a nationally representative data set to analyze these food insecurity trends, using observations from nearly 2 million households. I then used logistic regressions to estimate the food insecurity between two groups, those who pay grocery taxes and those who don't, at 2-week intervals during the pandemic. Here we can see the trend in food insecurity for those in states without grocery tax, the bottom line, and those in states with grocery tax, the top line. Each of these perpendicular lines represents a U.S. government economic stimulus action meant to provide relief for Americans. We can see that as the pandemic progressed, a substantial gap appears between those who pay grocery tax and those who don't. While food insecurity has increased overall since June of 2021, my research shows that greater food insecurity is found in states that charge grocery tax. If you live in the lowest income quintile, this is a big deal. It is important to note that this is a current policy issue. Despite legislation meant to mitigate hardship, the gap remains. While several states have recently done away with grocery tax, unfortunately, Oklahoma had a House bill to abolish grocery tax that failed to pass last year. This issue matters for Oklahomans especially. My research provides powerful support for ending regressive grocery taxation. We must address this issue to improve food security for Americans in these grocery tax states. Remember that family that moved to Norman? This could be the difference between your children going to bed hungry or going to bed satisfied. Indeed, the price is not right.